Hare Krishna. So, I decided to make a video on the Sattvic week challenge, which is something that I'm going to create. It's something that I've been trying to do in my own life for a while, a few weeks ago, and then I'm trying to incorporate it again this week. It's kind of something that pushes you into living a more Sattvic life instead of just being like, okay, I have to stop doing this, or I'm gonna start doing this more often, and then you tell yourself that and then you never actually do. So this is a way to be like, okay, to kind of give yourself discipline. This week, this is what I'm gonna do. So it really is a way to help yourself be more Sattvic for a week, if you can try to do it every single day for that week. And then of course by the end of that week you're probably going to want to continue doing that, like not just like, oh thank God the week is over, now I can do whatever I want. So first of all, the food thing. I'm going to be saying food, lifestyle, worship, and speak, things of that nature. So first of all, the food, that's pretty much a big part. And I'm not saying, because some people take this more seriously than others, some people are already doing these things, and some people have a hard time because they live in a family where their family cooks, so it's like almost impossible for them. So if you cannot live by these certain principles depending on your situation, don't feel bad, don't feel discouraged because, oh, I can't do this one aspect, so the whole entire week is ruined. No. If you can't do one thing right, that's totally okay. Just make sure you can do the things that you can do. If this is impossible for you or too hard for you, just do what you can. But also don't be afraid to push yourself. Don't be like, oh, that's too hard, I can't do it, whatever, I'm not even gonna try. If you can, try. If your family cooks for you, sorry about that. But if it's your own free will, try your hardest to follow by these things. So the separate food thing is obviously no meat, fish, or eggs. And then there's also no caffeine, no candies like chocolates, no onions, no garlic. And there's probably more in that section, but if you want to look that up, feel free. But those are just the basic things. So yes, that might be harder for others who are maybe like addicted to having coffee every morning or having tea every night, even though night tea normally doesn't have caffeine, but whatever. Yes, be careful, because almost everything, like hummus, like soups, crackers, depending on the kind, almost everything in the entire store probably has garlic and onion powder, so you have to be careful to double check that and to watch yourself, which it's almost impossible to completely avoid. So if you end up slipping up, that's not a huge deal, just try your best. That's all you can do, is to try your best. So yeah, keep that in mind, write that down if you feel like it. Then there's the lifestyle. Try not to watch useless TV. Like, by useless TV, I mean most of what's on TV these days. Try to only watch spiritual related things and such, like things on YouTube, like lectures and little Krishna, and like, yeah, if you like to just sit around and unwind and watch something at the end of the day, then there's always lots of spiritual things to do. I mean, I have like this thing where like I always want to just watch something while I'm chilling at night, and instead of watching stupid TV shows or stupid, something that's on the TV that I don't even really care about, put on a lecture. So yeah, that is easier said than done. For some people, they already are avoiding TV and things like that, but for some people that's like kind of a given, where they have to, especially if you live somewhere where your family is like, hey, let's go watch a movie. I'm not saying movies are evil, I'm not saying that, but for this Sattvic week challenge, we're trying to avoid things that are not directly spiritual. It's just a challenge, and if you feel like this is something that you want to continue doing afterwards, great. But if you think it's too hard, then try to slowly ease out of it. You don't have to just suddenly give up all this stuff. This is just for a week to challenge yourself. Also, going around with no useless TV watching is no useless computer browsing. Like, don't spend hours just scrolling through Facebook or scrolling on Tumblr looking at all the negative things of people yarping on Tumblr about unless they get crazy depending on the people you follow, but there is just so much negativity on Tumblr, I almost can't handle it sometimes. I have like a very small people that I follow list because some people just post way too much negative stuff. So anyway, no useless computer browsing, no useless TV watching, no useless reading, maybe, you know, try to read spiritual things, try to watch spiritual things, try to look up spiritual things. Whatever you do in life, whether it be reading, watching TV, scrolling through the internet, try to make it spiritual. If you're reading, read the Bhagavad Gita, read the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's so many spiritual books that you can read, and there's so many spiritual lectures that you can watch. It's like, it's awesome. And then also try to set a regulative thing for your chanting. Like if you want to try doing 16 rounds a day, you can do 4 rounds 4 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. That would be cool. Or you can set small goals for yourself, like try to just do 4, and then the next day try to do 6, and the next day 8, and then 12, and then 16, until you can do it. Try to worship and pray. There's so much I could say about having love on you for spiritual praying, for praying and worshiping. You need to have love, you need to have that connection, otherwise none of this is possible. Form that connection, because this is what the Sattvic week is about. It's not about just torturing yourself. It's about being closer to Krishna. There was this quote that I seen that said, closeness to God isn't about feeling, it's about obedience, because sometimes we depend on the feeling that we get from chanting or worship, but really this is about just obeying God because we love Him. So this is what we're doing. We are trying to be better people for Him. So just remember that the only strength that you're going to get is going to come from Krishna. So the only way you can actually make it this week and even further is if you have help from Krishna. And then there's the speaking stuff. Try not to swear, try not to gossip, which is hard when you live with your family or with friends that are not spiritual. My family loves to gossip. It's crazy, so I try to just completely block it out, try not to like be engaged in that, like let them go at it, it's not my business. Try to control your speech, try not to say anything too useless. I got this idea the other day where it was like, try to make sure that at the end of the day you say Krishna's name more than you say anything else. So that kind of will make you, not like don't talk, but it'll kind of help you think like, okay, if I am trying to speak about Krishna and say Krishna's names more than I talk about other stuff, well then I will try to control my speech more, and then before you speak be like, do I really need to say this? You know, kind of like imagine it where you have these 2 buckets where like every time you speak about Krishna you put in like a coin or something, and every time you speak about other stuff you put in a coin. At the end of the day, you want the Krishna one to be more full. Yeah, so I also, my next video, I kind of wanted to do like a question-answer kind of thing. So there can be personal questions, spiritual questions, advice questions, even comments. Yeah, I kind of just want to address like the people who have been nice to me and have left me nice comments and address something. So if you feel like being anonymous, you can message me on Tumblr, or you can comment in this video, or you can send a private message. Yeah, so good luck with your Sattvic week challenge. Hare Krishna.